Hello everyone, this is Eldad Amara back with another video. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe and share. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way every time I drop a new video, you'll be notified. Now, also, I'll be doing some live streams coming up soon. The reason why I haven't started yet is due to certain equipment problems, but I will be doing live streams soon. So please keep a lookout for this. Right, today I want to talk about how people are starting to wake up. Even comedians, footballers, actors, musicians, all of those people in the mass media, how they are starting to wake up and they're starting to fight back. They're starting to push back against all of the things that's going on in terms of the inequalities in society, right? The injustices in society. And some are starting to use their platforms to fight back against the system. You see, when you start fighting back against the system, it comes at a cost. Yes, it comes at a cost. Think about it. If you try and fight back against the system, you know what's going to happen? You're going to either have character assassination. You're either going to have your station pulled down or your platform pulled down. You are going to have your job deleted. You are going to either go to prison or something of this nature. But people are willing to do this and what they see as being right, just, fair and true. Now you have Gary Lineker, the English footballer. He came out against the government, right, over the small boats policy. And what did Gary Lineker say over the small boats policy? ITV News. Just hours ago, Gary Lineker was set to present match of the day tomorrow, having stood by his tweet comparing the government's language, their language, on its new small boats policy to that used in 1930s Nazi Germany, using Germany. Now, Gary Lineker has his own platform, and Gary Lineker made this statement on his own platform. But because he also works in conjunction with the BBC, he has a contract with them, they said they wanted to pull his show until something could be sorted out because they did not really like what he was saying, right? Comparing the government to 1930s Germany. And that's not comparing the government, comparing the language that the government was using. Gary Lineker said it was like 1930s Germany, the language that was being used. Anyway, loads of people started coming out in support of Gary Lineker. They would not, some of his football friends, such as Ian Wright, Alan Shearer, turn around and they said they would be coming out in support of him. So they said they would not be going on to match of the day because they was coming out in support of Gary Lineker. And a whole heap of other people also came out in support of Gary Lineker. Now, this is the sort of thing that I'm telling you about. It comes when you come out and you say something. When you come out and you say something like Gary Lineker did, it's either results in things like you're losing your job, you're losing your position, character assassination, and all of these things. It makes you wonder just how much control we really have over our own destination, over our own life. Because it appears that if you're working for a company and you come out and you say something, they will turn around and say that you need to remain impartial. You need to remain impartial. A person such as Gary Lineker in this position should be remaining impartial. He shouldn't be coming out and saying anything of a political nature. Now, Gary was standing up for the refugees. Other people are starting to come out, and other people are starting to stand up for what they truly believe in, what they think is just, fair, and right. But then, on the other hand, there are some people who turn around and say, you know, Gary Lineker was wrong to have done what he had done. For example, check this quote. If you are working for the BBC, you have a responsibility when you're public facing, whether it's your Facebook or your Twitter feeds, whatever, to still retain that element of impartiality. And this was by Nadine Dorries, MP, former cultural secretary. Okay, she came out and she said like that, so you should remain impartial. So was Gary Lineker right, or was he wrong? Some people say no, you shouldn't have come out and said what he said in relation to the government, that he should have remained impartial. But Gary was trying to stand up for what he believed was injustice that was being done. Another person who came out in favor of Gary, okay? He turned around, this is Alistair Campbell, former Downing Street Director of Communication, says, I think it is a bad decision because this isn't about Gary Lineker. This is about the BBC. I'm afraid it's pandering and cowering in the face of creeping right-wing authoritarianism inside the government. So Alistair Campbell, he's come out in support of Gary. This Alistair Campbell, he knows what's really going on. You come out and you say certain things, right? You will get pulled down. You will get discredited. You will have your job taken away from you. You will be character assassinated. Check out, who's this other guy? Comedian Kevin Hart. Okay, black comedian in America. He turned around and he said that the ancient pharaoh were black, and that we should be teaching our children, and he should be teaching his children about the days when we were kings and queens in Egypt. Man, oh man, a lot of people lost their minds over that. A lot of people lost their minds in Cairo over that. And guess what? Kevin Hart was banned from making these kinds of remarks. He was banned from doing a concert there for making these kinds of remarks. All right, but listen to some of the language. This is some of the language that was used. I'll tell you, man. Let me read this out. The post-Kevin Hart's Egypt show cancelled after comedian reportedly made Afrocentric comments about country's history. Appeared first on Blavity, Blavity, okay? Blavity. Right, the Middle East focus news site Al Monitor reports that opposition to Hart's performance in Egypt grew in December when a quote was attributed to him that questioned Egyptian history. We must teach our children the true history of black Africans when they were kings in Egypt, and not just the era of slavery that is cemented by education in America. Hart was reported to have said in December, reportedly adding, do you remember the time when we were kings? However, our monitor notes that the quote has never been attributed to a particular source, and whether Hart said it is unclear. So when, if this is true, then why did they ban him? Why did they ban him? Okay? Why did they ban him from doing a performance in Cairo? Why? Nevertheless, the Middle East Eye noted in December that discourse on social media in Egypt was growing surrounding the quotes, with calls for a Hart show in the country to be cancelled. Most modern Egyptians, like many people in the Middle East, on North Africa identify ethnically as Arab, and many Egyptians see attempts to censor Egyptian history on black Africans as Afrocentrism or blackwashing their history. Their history? How far back does ancient Egypt, not the modern Egypt, how far back does ancient Egypt go? And were the black pharaohs? There's strong evidence, very strong evidence to say yes, there were black pharaohs. I'm talking about in ancient Egypt. I go on. In addition to the quote about black kings of Egypt, some critics also knocked Hart's investing in Black Sands Entertainment, a company that produces Afrocentric comic books and animated programs, amongst other products. The media are quite clever, you know, and the media is owned by who? The elite. They own and control all of this. Yeah, the 1%. The 1% of the world's population, the elite, they control the means to production. They control the media, the TV, the television, your radio, your books, yeah, your education system, the whole lot. Right? It's in the control of a very small group of people. So they can come out and they can use terms, right, which are stereotyping. They use labeling theories to use against people, to character assassinate them, using these terms like Afrocentrism, yeah, and blackwashing their history. Blackwashing whose history? If blacks have no voice, and all Kevin Hart is trying to do is trying to empower his people, okay, to say we were once kings and queens. And then some people in the media, and these are the high elite in Egypt, okay, who own and control the media, the TV, the radios. They are the ones who want to cover over the history of black people and saying that they have no history there in Egypt, in ancient Egypt. And Egypt is in Africa. Anyway, I'm slightly going off point, because the point that I'm trying to make is that if you make a comment and you're in the public eye, you are going to get character assassinated. You are going to get cancelled, like Hart has been cancelled. Or your show pulled down, as like Gary Lineker, who had his show pulled down. He's asked to step back, okay, because of his comments. Then you had, and I don't agree with everything this guy has said either, so I want to make this totally clear. You had Kanye West making remarks about the music industry and the film industry and the people who own and control that, and then how they're linked also to the prison system. Okay? Now, as I say, I don't agree with everything Kanye has said, but yes, he also had some industries remove themselves from him, and he lost millions and millions of pounds because of it. Millions of pounds. Because he was coming out and he was saying certain things in regards to certain aspects of the film industry, the music industry, and so forth. See, when you start speaking out against certain groups, or you start speaking out about certain things, next thing, you are character assassinated. Or you lose your job. Or you lose your money. Or you lose your reputation. This comes at a price of speaking out and speaking your truth, or what you see as a truth, and where you see injustice. Muhammad Ali had the same thing as well. When he spoke out that he was not for against war with the Vietnamese, himself personally, it's a personal choice. He was not going to war for the American government because he had no problems whatsoever with the Vietnamese. He said he had more in common with them than what he did with his own country. Now, a lot of people are starting to wake up. A lot of people are starting to wake up all over the world. There's pop stars starting to wake up. Film stars starting to wake up. People are starting to push back. Now you've got school teachers, they're starting to push back. You've got lorry drivers, they're starting to push back. Train drivers, they're starting to push back. Nurses, they're starting to push back. All these various different societies. Why is it now that all of these people are starting to push back against the government? Unfair pay, working conditions, and so forth. Why now? Because, see, people, we are in a new era. We're in a new era. We've come out of the house of Pisces. Now we're entering Aquarius. This is a time where truth starts to unfold, where truth starts to prevail over the falsehood. People are starting to see that they have been tricked for so long, and now they're starting to wake up and see the society which they thought was real is actually not so. People are starting to wake up from the great illusion. People are starting to see the great falsehood in the system, and truth is starting to prevail. We have now moved out of the house of Pisces, and we now moved into the house of Aquarius, where truth, people, has to prevail. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Eldad Amara, over and out.